I must blame, when I'm blaming Inec in election management, there's what happens. It's not the Inec in Abuja that win our election in Imo or in most parts of the south is where some of these elections were messed up. It is the Inec in those areas. Because, for instance, how do you post people that were not the people that were statutorily trained for an election duty? It wasn't from Abuja, it was from Imo that some of those things happened. And again, if you made a return that is illegal or under duress, you have a duty to report that this is what happened in the field. But most of them kept quiet. But more important, INEC cannot work without security agents. If security agencies are backing INEC, standing with them at the polling unit, at the collection center, to insist that the right thing should be done, in most cases I can tell the bad thing will not be done. But what happens is that you see security agencies coming in, telling the INEC person to follow those people. And then what do you expect the INEC ad hoc staff to do when the police that is a law, somebody that swore to an oath to protect with integrity is telling you now to follow the political party talk to go and change the result? You have little or no resistance to put up at that particular moment by 2 a.m. by 3 a.m. So if the security agencies is not on the same page with INEC to do the right, because if you are on the same page, you even insist that what is from the police is what should be entered. But when the police is on this other side, they're going to have that breach in the election. So it's a two-way thing, not just something that is only on INEC. From what my personal experience, it's something that security agencies and INEC must have that commitment to ensure that the process works at that particular level.
All right, Ikenga, in terms of posting people, that were not trained, we understand that some people, some ad hoc staff declined, participating due to insecurity at the time. But then let's go to the fact that you have emerged as a member-elect of the 10th National Assembly. We'll be looking at the task now ahead of that assembly. Now, the 9th assembly was, for many people, a rubber stamp assembly. Are we going to see something different this time?
Yesterday night, when we had meeting with some of the new lawmakers elect, the thing that keeps coming up in our discussion is that we don't want to be a rubber stamp. Some people say, hallelujah, but we don't want to be that. We don't want to be a parliament that will just be like, Nigerians who already predicted that leave these people, whatever the executive brings, they're going to okay for them. They will not even ask the right questions. Because I always remember the glory that came, I think in January 12, 1955, or thereabout, when the Governor General John inaugurated the first House of Representatives that had Fedri and later handed over to Judge Awachukwu, the glory of the Federal House of Representatives. Nigerians, used to see the House of Representatives as the people's parliament. That is where you see the real discussions. That is where you see the real patriotism. That is where you see that unity in diversity. That's where you see that commitment to make Nigeria to work. And that is the kind of National Assembly we want to see going forward in June, whereby issues that has to do with the people will be paramount. And not only that, let's find a way, like we have been discussing among our new colleagues, that we should have a 10th National Assembly that will use the instruments of the parliament in solving these present national challenges we're having today. You will agree with me that there's a huge national challenge that is threatening the continuing the existence of Nigeria. We have to start with credible election, like you said about P2B, that for you to be called excellent, the process that is going to bring you to office must be excellent. We start with further election reforms. We have to talk about electronic voting, because we cannot continue to be running like mad people on election day. We cannot continue to, people carrying on security agencies or any people being compromised, and then we are behaving like people from Burundi and Congo. I think at this age, Nigeria should pass this madness, because it's total madness that every 4 years we go through the same thing that we have done in the last 4 years. That we must find a way to look at electronic voting, if that can help us in solving this problem, so that once you click the issue, the vote can go directly without anybody, waiting for you at collection center to change the figure. At the end of voting, you can print out like a POS and everybody have their own copies. We must find a way to electronically vote. If that will help us to solve this election madness we go through every 4 years, because this keeps throwing up the wrong leaders at every election cycle. Then we have to look at restructuring. There's a lot of things that is dividing Nigeria today. We must find a way to talk about restructuring to even make the Nigerian state efficient. Nigeria is not viable today, the way they are running it. There's so much debt, there's so much borrowing, even with the resources that we have. Some are tapped, some are untapped. But if we can restructure the Nigerian Federation, both economic restructuring, political restructuring, we need political restructuring to have political stability in the first place. Rotational presidency, there's nothing wrong. Every region in this country have people that can man this country effectively. You can say power should rotate between north and south and make it as a legislation. So that first of all, we remove this dispute over who should rule and who should not rule, which cause so much division. Then we'll talk about the issues of tax and revenue generation. Most of the states are idle because they feel that at the end of every month, they will come to Abuja and there's an available money. But if you can allow for fiscal restructuring that will allow states to be competitive, most of the states can now find a way to go back to their states and raise revenue. And that means we have to touch on issues of revenue generations and so on and so forth. They do it all over the world. We go to Dubai, we pay hotel tax, we pay this, they remit whatever is due to the UAE, and Dubai is also developing at their own pace. So people can pay tax to the center, and the center can be in charge of custom, of national security, of currency, and so on and so forth. Why states should be allowed to raise these mineral resources, pay tax to the center, and then be able to develop? This competition is very important. Even on taxation, you go to some place in America, the tax you pay in New York is not the same tax you pay in maybe in Morehead or somewhere. So people like go to Morehead to invest because the tax is low. So somebody from Zamfara can lower tax to be able to attract investment, and somebody in Lagos can increase his own. And again, there's something like if you see development in entertainment.